Public Q&A presents AskReddit question. What's your, anyway, now I have a cat story? I was walking home after my evening shift. Heard a persistent mew and came across a tiny kitten frantically trying to get my attention. I follow her to find her siblings, one of whole had fallen in a drain, and the other who basically was looking on in what I would call shock for a kitten's expression. Anyways, now I had 3 kittens who thought I was their mom. Did these kittens continue to display these initial traits? Responsible, clumsy, and not very good in a crisis. Somehow I am all 3. Basically, they evolved more into overly curious, wants what it wants, and sigh, not very good at anything life-related but adorable. These would be wonderful cat names. This one is my favorite. Cat meowing at the front door. I open and say, "Hello there, do you want some?" The cat went straight to the sofa, as if it's been living there its whole life, and start taking a nap. Well, okay. Anyway, a cat has found a human. In Soviet Russia, person doesn't choose cat, cat chooses you. That's pretty much everywhere though. In Soviet Russia, person chooses cat. Checkmate. Do you think the cat ever noticed it wasn't his usual house? Nope, didn't care. How I got a cat once too. It saw and then owned. Didn't look back. Someone from church came into our house and said we found this cat half frozen under our shed, and we were hoping you'd take it. We took it. I mean, you have to, right? I guess so. He's still a real small cat, and is still pretty timid with people. Saw a stray cat out in a shopping plaza and my parents told me, if you can catch it, you can keep it. Anyways, now I have a cat, and my parents have since learned to never say that to me again. I wish my aunt told me that, I'd have so many cats. My dad told me that, but it was with my friends at school. They take up a lot of room in the basement. Let me out, I have been here for 4 years. They take up less space if you dismantle them before stowing. That's how my sister and I got a pet bunny once. I like it. Here's an award. They challenged you and you won. Heard meowing from my garage. Found a scruffy probable dump from the university a little ways away. He was friendly, so I picked him up and knocked on the doors of a few neighbors who I didn't know well enough to see if he was theirs. Nope. My other 2 cats, one was the dominant cat of the neighborhood who fought everything. Didn't fight this guy. They just kind of hung out together. I would never seen that before. My 2 boys hated every other cat they'd ever met. But not this one. So that's how I ended up with another cat. That cat got super lucky. He knew a sucker when he saw one. That's how I ended up with the 3rd cat. Its mom kicked it out of the litter at 5 weeks. I agreed to foster it until it was able to fend for itself. Little did I know it'd fall in love with my dog, which in turn helped my dog become more confident and playful. Thanks for sharing your story. I am imagining the cat telling your other 2 its background, and getting sympathy for being dumped. So it gets welcomed into the pack as a family member. He was treated like the barely tolerated but secretly loved younger brother. Total goof. One older boy died. And the tomcat and little brother spent a few years apart, and then moved cross-country, and were reunited for a few more years. Big Tom had congestive heart failure for years but hung on. He was tough. Little bro got a kidney infection. He died one afternoon. The following evening Big Tom was like, well, I stayed with him. Now my job is done. And he died that night. Fitting. He loved little brother even if he'd never admit it. My 3 boys. I really miss them. Tearing up. My own cat woke me up hissing and meowing, and with a puffed tail, walking around the door. When I checked the garage there was another cat, half dead, clearly she took a beating, and she was pregnant. Rushed to the vet, the litter was lost, but the mother survived. I told myself eventually I'll find her a new owner. It was 3 years ago. Anyway, now I have 2 cats. You're good people. I mean, you did find her a new owner, that owner just happened to be you. Eventually, you did find her a home, yours. Molly, the friendly outdoor stray whose company I enjoyed one summer, showed up on the back porch one day with her new kittens. Anyway, now I have a cat's. Whose company I enjoyed one summer. I mean, this makes it sound as if it was your duty to step up and make an honest cat of her. I spit out my coffee laughing at this, thank you. Edit. I live in a town just lousy with strays, and while most of them are feral to the point of hostility, a few are friendly enough to approach and befriend. Sadly, strays tend to live short, difficult lives that end in violence. It's only too common for a familiar cat to disappear without warning. I often only see particular animals through a spring and a summer, and then never again. OMG, you just described my experience. It broke my heart the first year or 2 because I would see the same strays, and maybe even give them names in my own head. And then when the cold sets it like now, I get so upset thinking about them outside. I just kind of have to let it go. Luckily there is a great group that started taking in strays to spay and neuter and then release. He took my kittenhood in his stride. But he was gone when autumn came. Went to PetSmart for dog food. Walked by the cats, leaned over to talk to one of them, and the clever bastard put his little paw through the cage bars and ever so gently pushed it on my cheek. Anyway, now I have a cat. Aw. My kitty used to do that. Felt like he was telling me that he loves me. Me and my partner were struggling to get pregnant. I was allergic to cats, but got one anyway for her. A month later she got pregnant. Anyway, now I have a cat. And a baby. I was allergic to cats, but got one anyway for her. A month later she got pregnant. Bless you for accepting your half-feline stepchild. Congratulations on both counts. I was outside on my 3rd floor balcony smoking a cigarette at 6 a.m. A little kitten walked up the fire escape and said meow, which I took as a good morning strange human. Then she walked around the balcony, smelled my hand I put out to her, then pawed open the cracked door and walked inside. She found the couch and curled up on it and slept for hours and never left. Anyway, that's how a cat broke into my house and adopted me. She also ended up being pregnant. 5 kittens. So anyway, I got even more cats. Eventually adopted out 4 of them. Edit. Thanks for the awards. I gave both my kitties a chicken squeeze-up treat in celebration. That cat knew exactly what it was doing. Congrats on being adopted. Thanks Blockofas. It feels so good to be chosen by an animal. Teenage pregnancy is an epidemic, SMH. Or S. Similar, except a terrace, and she was looking for food. Oh, I also adopted them all. Welcome to my zoo. Baby trapped ya. Well, that's fucking wholesome as fuck. I can finally share mine. This was about a decade and a half ago now. Back then we used to buy fast food takeout on Sundays, as a treat for us kids, and so the adults don't have to cook dinner that day. One particular day we had a bucket of KFC with some chicken still left, and for some reason or other just left the bucket covered on the dining room table. Later that night, I heard the sound of something falling from the direction of the dining room, and then something running up the stairs. When I went to investigate, I found bits of chicken on the stairs and the attic door slightly. OMG, you have the grand kitten. So cute. My grandma was moved into a dementia care facility and tried to smuggle her cat in with her in her purse, but she got caught. Anyway, now I have a cat. Are you sure that was the dementia? I would want a cat too. This is also a woman who let a wild raccoon into her house thinking it was one of the many stray cats she feeds. This is me of climate change, US, North Korea, possible WW3, a nuclear leak, earthquake, a meteor, or any random man on the street. Don't kill me. Wow. You are still with us. Thanks for being such a nice person. As long as you are here, why not like this video and subscribe to our channel? Also, you can press the bell icon so you won't miss any future uploads.